I'm muted. Haha. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DCUO SourceCast. I am, of course, Trex, and along beside me we have Super Patriot.
What's up, everybody?
Hopefully you can hear him a lot better. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll find out during the lag.
Well, I went back to my old mic.
Did you? The Astros were causing you this issue?
I believe so. I think they were, sir. I think they were.
I'm using Astro A50s.
I've got the the A40s over here, and I mean, I don't know. So I don't know if you guys watched my video I released today. That my mic sounds horrible on there. I don't know if it's just because of the share factory, but everybody says sound like that in game too, and that's using my Astro headset and with my Astro mic, and so I got some adjustments I got to make. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as long as we can hear you, and we do. I mean, everything's picking up on my end. And on the other side, closer to me on the interwebs, we have Vagrant Gaming.
What's up, fellas? What's up, ladies?
And
What?
You can't forget the other category, which I would just put in the other category.
Guys, girls, and transgenders?
There you go. Here at DCUO SourceCast, we are PC.
That's why I just say everybody.
Exactly.
Whatever.
So there's not that awkward.
If you're a transgender, you fall under both. I don't have to say whatever. Let's move on.
You okay? Did we touch a spot?
No, we didn't. I went to college, man. I found a lot of things over there.
You saw a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that I can never unsee.
Good. Okay, so stream is running. I don't know what's going on.
If you're seeing a black screen, refresh.
Yeah, just hit the refresh button. Because my streams suck, Pixie, that's why. Because I always have some kind of internet problem, which I don't know I have an internet problem until it's too late.
Would they want it any other way, though, Trex?
I would like a working stream. I would like that.
But they're not used to anything else. They might not like it as much. It might not have as much charm if, once every podcast we crash once or it just freezes or we have some other kind of problem.
See, the problem is you jinxed it last week because when we got done off the show and everything, you guys jinxed it last week because you talked about, man, we didn't crash once during that stream. And,
it's not going to happen. No,
honestly, it happened. It hadn't happened for a while. And you guys jinxed it. You guys jinxed it.
I jinxed nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing.
So,
not on my watch.
Let me talk about the layout that you see here, or at least glitching was. Stop it.
I know, seriously, I don't see it. I've refreshed, and I still have a black screen. It says loading video. Oh, wait, what do we got?
Yep, there we go.
I have no dropped frames, so I have no clue what's going on.
On my end, I can see everything.
Yeah, my phone's about to pull up everything, so I'm about to see what you guys are seeing, which I don't see any issues, but I also have it muted. So there you go. So the stuff that you see on screen, I added a few stuff to try and boost up the SourceCast a little bit. So when you hit the follow button, new followers will have this cool little, I guess, emblem come up that'll be really graphical for everyone to see, even for the people on the VOD for my YouTube channel. Also, I opened up a donation pool. For donations, it's not forced or anything. You don't have to, but it would be welcoming. It does help out with with production costs and getting giveaways and everything. So I mean, the SourceCast goal is $25. If we're able to get it on a single episode, woot. If not, I mean, I do it throughout the week to support the SourceCast, to support the giveaways. And everyone who does donate gets, you'll see your name on screen that you donate. You can even donate $1. I don't even care. The link for the donation is on the channel when you scroll down, and you'll be able to see it down there. Just hit the donation button, and boom, you'll be able to just rock out with it. But yeah, right now, I mean, my follower goal is 4 out of 10. So we already have 4 new followers before we started the show. So thank you so much to you guys. And sadly, I didn't get to see your names. But I really wish you guys would have waited till the show started so you could see a nice little pop up.
Yeah, everybody unfollow Trex and then refollow him.
No,
stop.
Stop. No, that's bad. That's not cool. No, sir.
Everybody unfollow and refollow Trex so you can inflate his poor ego.
It's already there. It goes right there. I see it on screen. You guys will see it in a moment as well. But it's some DC related cool stuff. So, all right. So great. Now everyone's just going to start popping up the followers now. Thanks, Supes. Thanks. My email is going to get blown up now. F.
Maybe you shouldn't tell them that every time they follow and unfollow and then follow that it sends you an email.
Every episode I have to clear out my email, so whatever. So tonight we have a lot of cool stuff going on. We get to talk about a lot of posts that Spytle came out with this week. Just some updates from the test server. We're also going to have Vagrant talk a little bit about some PvP as well. So it's gonna be a really informative night. So let's go straight into. Actually, I'm on the forums. I'm at the wrong spot on the forums. Let me go to the right one. Apparently, everyone's liking the graphic for the follow. I think at least I'm seeing the laughter.
I haven't seen it yet. Versus social.
Just says follower girl. It's just in text.
Well, I mean, it says it has text, but it also has a graphic for it too. A nice little
really?
GIF.
Okay.
If the GIF isn't showing, I'm gonna be really upset. I mean, I see it on my side, but then again, it's probably lagging. So, let's talk first about Spytle's first post that he posted on Tuesday. And this is the Vote Kick update. So we all know that the week there was an entire, well, I think maybe 6 days of the vote to kick was disabled. The deserter penalty dropped down to a minute. Which I think the deserter penalty is still at a minute, right? It didn't go back up?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, thank God.
I think it's still only a minute.
That was a good thing. That was good. I like that. Oops. So now we have the Vote Kick update. They brought back the Vote Kick, and he even brought us like a full page of words, of long words. Whew. Man, just super long words of basically everything that's going on that I'm really happy with. So we got the goal of the test, we got the results, and we also got the plans to what's happening. Supes, can you go into what the goal of the test was?
The goal basically was for them to collect some data to see if, these issues that, were actually taking place, that people claimed were taking place, were actually causing problems. They wanted to see if it was actually going to affect people's abilities to complete instances if they were stuck in there with some D-bag who decided to AFK because somebody, told them to pump more power too many times. Stuff like that. That's basically the gist of it. That's basically, where it all came from here. So, they collected that data. Basically, what the data told them was that, more instances, I think it was about 1% more instances were able to actually be completed with, the vote to kick option removed. However, they still, obviously listen to people's feedback, not to mention the numerous, stories and all that. And I know of at least one video that I saw from a friend of mine, or a guy, I know that's in the game, who had an issue with somebody who, they were in Love and War. They were wanting to try for the One Piece feat, and one of them suggested that somebody else go tank so they could, to tank it. And the solo tank at the time, he took offense to that and said that if you guys bring in another tank, I'm not going to do anything. And then, of course, tempers flared, argument ensued, and finally it resulted in that guy saying, "What are you going to do? Kick me?" So instances like that, I think, happened a lot with remove to kick being removed. Not saying that all the instances of the abuse of the kick happened beforehand and everything, but I just think there needs to be a kick option in this game, and I'm glad they brought it back. But yeah, like I said, the number of people who completed the content was 1% more during their test week, and the number of people who completed content was 2% more. Was also 2% more during the test week. But everything else was pretty much the same. They say so, but because of everybody's feedback on how we need a kick option. I mean, I don't. My biggest thing is, seriously, who just solo queues into like end content stuff?
Yeah.
Seriously, how many people out there actually sit there in a queue for Hades, Halls of Hades, or Love and War, or Throne? Exactly.
Throne's just not gonna pop.
I could probably queue up for Throne and go farm for 5 hours and never have that queue pop.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know why people it boggles my mind, to be honest with you. Why
we might be able to queue for it when crossplay happens, but even then, just why would you want to do that? Why?
See, all this whole kick system and everything. There's some deep seated roots in why we need a kick system and why people kick people from instances, why we can't just queue up for an instance like that. There's some deep seated reasons behind all that. I don't know if we really want to get into that right now, though.
Yeah,
I've got some serious hard opinions about why crap like this happens. Why we see stories about, oh, they kicked me out because I was 10 CR underneath everybody, and they kicked me out because I wasn't putting out enough damage, or they kicked me out because they wanted to bring in a league mate. Which honestly, I think that is a douchebag move right there. But I think those stories about bringing in league mates is like few and far between compared to the other actual reasons for it. Well, like I said, I wasn't sure if we really wanted to get into the conversation about the deep roots of why there needs to be a kick system.
Not really.
Why people with 10 less CR get kicked from raids. Why you have people shouting for raids. For people shouting for Necro, and they're asking for 114 CR. People and all that. There's some deep seated reasons for that, and we could probably talk about that in a little bit later, but I know you want to talk about everything else that's going on with this week, the news. So
exactly.
Yes.
So all right. So we have our goal out of the way. What were the results? Vagrant, you want to take over the results?
The results of the experiment of vote kicking?
Yes.
Well, basically, it was just they realized. Well, they were talking about how they knew that people were kicking, like the abuse was happening. They were totally aware of it the whole time, but they were just doing the experiment to see if it would change anything about how things were going. And basically they were saying that yes, or Spytle basically said that, yes, we realized that all of that stuff was going on, but now they have some data to see if they can possibly implement some features to improve the kicking system to an extent, correct?
Correct. The results. There's two versions of the results. One anecdotal, and then the other one was empirical, which I'm not a smart guy. I don't know what those big words mean, and I was too lazy to go to Google. So
which words?
I mean,
which words were you struggling with, sir?
anecdotal and empirical.
Anecdotal and empirical. Okay, anecdotal would be like, like kind of like made up. How like a lot of like actors they'll anecdote their
okay.
lines.
Okay.
Okay, and imperial would be actual fact numbers.
Yeah.
There you go. Knowledge bomb.
The biggest thing that they said that they want to possibly implement would be a UI change to the kick icon when you go to kick someone. That possibly, obviously, that probably would not happen until the new UI actually came out, which has been pushed back, so we probably won't see that for a little bit. So that's kind of a no-brainer, but we won't see that for a little bit. They said the second thing which kind of caught my eye was they wanted to improve the ignore feature. They were basically saying the ignore feature is not as comprehensive as it needs to be right now, and it needs to have it to where having someone on the ignore list will prevent you from ever being put in an instance with them. Will that only work for PvE or PvP? That would make the ignore system a lot more helpful. But then again, you could also abuse it to some extent. They also, yeah. They also talked about a vote kick cooldown. Right now, there's a cooldown on kicking, but the instance is based on and set to a meager 30 seconds. So I guess they want to set it to where you can't kick a whole instance of players in a mere couple minutes. They would want to have it to where possibly you'd have to wait a while. That way, you're not like you have a pug going on, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, we're at the last boss. Let me bring in my whole guild real quick and kick everybody. They don't want that happening.
Right.
Damn, did you guys already move all the way down to moving forward?
Yeah. Because what else was there to talk about other than, I talked about the goal of the test, the results of the test.
Basically,
and then,
the results of the test was this in a nutshell. Nothing effing changed. Nothing. You all were out of your freaking minds if something was going to change. You all need to calm down. The world did not end. Flip table. That's what actually I was expecting.
Flip table.
Yeah, but the thing is.
No. Numbers right here. Comparing to our test week the week before, the number of people who completed content was 1% more during our test week. Comparing our test week to 2 weeks before.
Those numbers aside, what was the community's reaction to it? Those numbers aside, what was the community's reaction to it?
Crap, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm always forgetting these words.
Don't say over exaggerated or anything like that. Don't say because it affected people. It affected people. There should always be improvement to options, never removal of them. Now you're quiet, Trav.
No, I'm reading chat. I'm sorry.
No, there should always be. There should always be improvement to options and never removal of them. Once you take away an option from somebody, of course people are going to overreact. Of course people are going to blow up about it. Once you take the ability away from somebody to make a run smoother, or say there's somebody in there being disruptive or abusive, and you don't want to help them get more marks and gear because of that, and the group decides on that, I think the group should have the ability to do that. I think the group should have the ability and the power to decide whether or not they want to carry somebody who is just like completely out, classed or underskilled for something. I think they should have the ability and all that. I mean, that person should go back. Once again, this goes back to the root issues with all this and all that. And I'm not going to get into it right now, but we're definitely talking about it later.
So yeah, I mean the community when it went away went crazy. They went to the forums to complain, to Facebook, to Twitter, like all over the place. And true, I was like, wait, this isn't going to be good. I don't want this done. But and I will agree that it was a test. I didn't want it fully taken away, but I did want changes done to it, and we see that now. Okay, and Mebs is here in chat right here. If we haven't done the experiment, we would have to live with the segment of people who say even limiting kicking is detrimental to them, which we now know factually is wrong. We know that's not true. We can move forward with limitations. Now, like Vagrant said with the changes, these are changes that could be added on to. But honestly, I'm more impressed with the ignore feature and the vote to kick cooldown. Yeah. Those are the two that I absolutely... That's the ignore feature that I feel that we should have had at launch. Or at least...
Well, I mean,
yeah.
It's been over the few couple of years, they've been adding quality of life features, you know. So yes, definitely I would totally and wholeheartedly agree that I cannot wait for some improvements to the ignore feature. Like I said, that is the biggest thing that caught my eye when I was reading that. But go on, Trex.
Alright, so this ignore feature. Now, a lot of people also had a lot of questions about this as well with the account to account. I already did a video on this, but of course I have to repeat myself because it's for the SourceCast, it's for you guys. The account to count is basically if I ignore Vagrant, I don't just ignore his one tune that I had a horrible experience with. I ignore his entire account. I never have to see his alts at all. So and that should pursue between PvP and PvE. It shouldn't really matter. It's like when I have you on ignore, you are done, sir. You are just done.
Well, what I meant by like PvP and to where you can abuse it is say you go against a really good team, you can just ignore the whole team.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. I can see that.
And technically that ruins the idea of what PvP is supposed to be. You're always supposed to have a challenge.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, for instance, well, I'm just going to use Clutch's name because he's just an unknown PvPer. If I don't want to have a really bad match against Clutch, then all I got to do is ignore him to an extent, you know, if they had it like that. And then I would never go against him and never have to technically worry about losing against him, and that's not how PvP is supposed to be.
Okay. So Mebs is in here. In PvP, it will probably work with who you are grouped with. You won't be grouped with them, but you'll still face them.
Okay.
Are
so
you
yeah,
with
that makes sense then. Yeah, that totally makes sense because, like I said, they kind of ruins the spirit of PvP. You know, you are supposed to have matches where, you know, the match is really good. There will be matches where, you know, you get completely destroyed. That's just how PvP works. You know, it's that random number generator to an extent.
Good. Okay. And with the vote kit cooldown, this of course asks a lot of questions as well. And I'm gonna wait for a little bit for more information to really come out about it, because there's some things in there a little questionable, like with cooldown timers. With it, when you say I start the vote, I'm already on the cooldown timer. I started that, so I'm on the cooldown. But if you accept, you're on the cooldown, but you have a different cooldown than me. Okay, so that means that when your cooldown is done first, you can actually kick someone else, but then I can kick because I can still have that choice. I can still vote. But then with my voting to do so, because I'm still on cooldown, do I get time added or do I just get time reset? You know, that's where people are getting a little confused about it. But more information with that will come along closer whenever they can get this implemented into the game.
Yeah.
But,
my biggest thing would be the ignore feature.
Yeah.
Get that going ASAP.
Yeah, it should be number one. And then, of course, the UI change. A little boot icon. I can live with that. Something small.
Yeah.
Something small.
Can't wait for that UI change, though.
All right. So, that was a Tuesday. That was what our Tuesday was the vote to kick update. Then, yesterday, and this has been like an entire week of just people complain on the forums about loot. We've seen the forum posts like week after week, but then like this week there has just been like multitudes of this stuff. I don't know where it came from. And sure enough, Spytle with his timely creative director timeliness comes out with improvements to the loot system. And whoa boy, talk about some changes. Do you want to kick this off?
Okay, so from what I read, it was basically on how, players were complaining that, they'd run raids specifically and get nothing. They'd get no drops, which in general made players feel that they needed to spend endless amounts of replays to really, gear themselves. To an extent, I would agree, but at the same time, me and Trex are used to MMOs where it's all based on drops. Mm-hmm. And I'm no stranger to, doing a raid and not specifically getting anything for my character. But, players were complaining that, they'd run Throne or, Halls of Hades and get nothing. Basically, what Spytle proposed is a loot system that would, every time you don't get a drop from a certain boss, you would get slightly increased chances of eventually getting loot to where it's almost guaranteed that you would get a drop. And in my opinion, I think that's fair to players. That is obviously better than right now, on a technical level. So personally, I didn't really think it was needed, but I think I don't see why people would be complaining about it. It's just an extra feature that helps players out if they feel they're getting shafted from gear to an extent.
That's basically where players are coming from, is the fact that they've just been like they go into a raid and from the same boss they get like the tank trinket 5 times each time they've gone in there. They're looking at decreasing the chance of duplicates and actually getting something from that run that they can use instead of just getting a duplicate to either vendor sell or to salvage. With this new improvement, it does give us this change. Because we're not only gonna we're gonna have a choice between 2 pieces of gear. So you might see that tank trinket that you've always seen, but then you'll also see another piece of gear that might be beneficial for you, or might not. It's still a random thing. It's still might not be for your specific role. It's the toss of the RNG. But then again, those are just those 2 pieces of items. In a raid setting, you could have the choice to go further down and you can see an extra mark, you can see a base item, you can see an R&D component or a plan. So there's other choices in there. Now maybe I missed it in the thread, but did it say that you can only choose 1 out of the 5, or is it still just pick 3 and go with it?
Well, I think it from what I'm reading, when you're doing a raid, you'll be able to choose the one of the 5 options, which is gear option 1 from the boss, gear option 2 from the boss, the R&D plan / component, the base item, or the extra mark. And then for solo duos and alerts, there's the gear option 1, gear option 2, R&D plan, component, base item, or extra mark. So you'll get 3 options for a solo duo or alert, or 5 options for a raid, because it looks like it would give you all the options depending on what you're running.
Okay, so Meps came in chat. You do choose 1 out of the list. So you choose 1 out of the 5. Or 1 out of the 3 if it's the smaller content. And this also does not affect the unattuned gear at all. It's still unattuned.
Mm-hmm. My biggest thing that I would love them to implement when this goes live is if they went retroactive with this. Make it to where older content has unattuned gear, possibly have it to where, maybe you don't get gear every time, but have that option to where you can choose eventually. I would just like it if they were retroactive with certain changes like this. That way content doesn't feel so sporadically different. like when they made it to where you don't necessarily roll for stuff anymore. They made it to where it's individual loot.
Okay. So, I am very interested with this because it now and then they also did with Meps come in again.
Ooh.
Meps comes in chat. We would intend to go back to older content like this, but we won't be able to do that for when we launch. We don't want to wait that long. Understandable.
Well, yeah. Obviously, I mean, you guys, when you did change the individual loot, it was for like a couple months. It was kind of only locked to tier 4 content. I think a couple months later, you did go back and change it for everything in the game.
So, let's see. So another thing that did it was the bad luck nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to give a shout out, or I don't know if I want to give a shout out. Maybe he's somewhere around here. Whoever that poor soul that went 19 bosses without a drop, you need like the biggest hug. Like the biggest.
I know I've gone like almost 10 bosses without a drop before.
I think I've gone 5. For me it was long, but at the same time it wasn't. So I think it was maybe 5. But yeah, that's man. So they changed the percentages on how your bad luck runs. And I'm actually trying to like word this as best as possible. So basically, you will have like a kind of a streak. You'll if you don't get an item after a couple of runs or something, your luck will be increased to get a better chance to get a higher rare gear. It's only confusing to me because it's not like there's a certain percentage on what this is based off of, so it's kind of weird. But for me, it's just luck. I mean, I could be lucky and get like just 100 chest from a raid, and all of a sudden the next time I just get a 98, 98, or a 99. It's like, okay, whatever. But it's so trying to find exact numbers was kind of hard. So trying to word this is kind of weird as well. It just is. But the best I could say is that if you have a string of bad luck, understand that you will have a good luck soon. Don't just don't get tired out about it.
And it also made it seem like you won't just necessarily they're changing it to where they'll give you a choice every time you get the drop, right?
Yes.
So you like when you do get drops, you'll always have a choice. And that was probably one of the biggest things that I liked about it. You'll always have a choice. I like that they're moving a lot of their features to choice, which is brings up against play the way you want to play. I think that's really good that it's basically finally happening with all the unattuned stuff that happened last year, and then the continued improvements to loot. I think it's really, really good.
Yeah, and another thing with this as well is that the omnipotence drop, it's still a rare, and even then, like trying to get an item, even a rare item, like even though 100s or the 101s, it's still random, and it's still rare. It's not like you will walk into the Throne Elite, and you're like, all right, I've had a string of bad luck. It should be my time, and you're automatically going to get an omnipotence. If you get an omnipotence, trust me, that's like the RNG loving you, and you have stupid good luck. That's basically it. So the omnipotence thing is still random. It's still super rare. But if you get it, congratulations. But yeah, even running lower content will affect your streak as well. It will affect your luck. So you could try like run lower content and try and get, and hopefully you have bad luck. And then I think people will try and hold on to like that good luck. It's like, hold on, I ain't running anything else unless we're running Throne or something good, because I feel lucky. I feel lucky. So that's where even this percentage thing, it's hard to determine. It's not like you can run, like, every 5 runs, you'll get something good. It's like, no, it's like you can run 2, and your third's going to be your lucky, or you can run 4, and your 5th is going to be your lucky. It's to me, it's still random. There's no specific formula to follow along with this.
Now, one of the biggest things that, since Meps just kind of said he wants to be retroactive with this, is that means that you can technically run older content to get those rare drops that a lot of people are missing, especially if you're given the choice. Like the Hive Defender gear from Moon, if they have it to where they give you a choice per boss, if you get lucky, you know, that doesn't seem so freaking like off in the distance nowadays, especially if they change that for older content.
Yeah. So, and just like you said, with the breakdown on how it goes with raids, you'll have gear option 1, gear option 2. Sorry, I don't actually have the graphic. I do apologize. And you also have an RD plan / component, and you'll have a base item and an extra mark. You'll have 5 choices to choose from. Okay? Oh, apparently Mep says that, which, by the way, that also probably won't be initially applied to older content. Okay. Whatever. I'll stop talking. This is why I need to read forums more and probably conversate with you and get questions answered before I start mouthing off. And then with the solo, duo, and alerts, you'll have a gear option 1, gear option 2, and then the R&D plan / component, the base item, and the extra mark share. So you can get one of those 3. And also with the seasonal, it's still kind of like its own thing. So if something's tied to a seasonal thing, you'll get the seasonal anyways, I believe. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people also didn't like that with the solo doing alerts, like the R&D plans and components, the base item, and the extra mark are tied into one. So you can get your 2 gear options, but then you'll get one of those 3 as your third.
Yep.
And people are actually wanting the base item to be by itself to choose from, in case you don't want the gears or opponent or the R&D stuff and extra mark. I mean, people actually are like begging for base items.
Mm-hmm. Some people like base items,
which I cannot disagree with. I cannot. I know I really want this new loot system for assault and battery, because I'm not getting any of the base items I want, and I really would just choose base items over and over again. Just give me my lantern stuff. Just give it here. Give me. But that's it for that. So, Vote to Kick is getting redone, and we have this improved loot system. I mean, what else can Spytle bring to us? Supes.
Oh, and science cells for PvP?
Stop it!
We haven't seen a new PvP map since last year's SOE.
Very true.
Yeah, since 2v2 Ace Chemicals came out, yeah.
What do you think about the improvement to loot system?
I think it's a fantastic step forward. I think it's a fantastic step forward for loot. I mean, it's a lot better than taking them out, then collecting data, and then putting loot back in, for sure. See what I did there? But it's no, I think it's a fantastic system. Being able to decide on what kind of loot you got. So, like, say you go into, I saw, Meps was talking about, going in and, burn through other content once you get, a rare drop and everything. So, say like you're doing back-to-back raids, and you can decide, it's like, okay, I don't need any of these drops in here, so I'm going to take, the extra mark, or I'll take the consumable plan, the R&D plan or something like that. But when I get to this raid, this is where I'm going to use my rare drop, ability, go in there and, choose, option 1 or option 2 for the gear drop and everything. No, that is not a good idea, Meps. Do not do that. No.
For everyone here, no loot at all in DLC 14. For questions, please contact Super Patriot.
No. Sense
DLC
the
14.
sarcasm, sir. Sense the sarcasm.
Launching with
Meps
just
doesn't
new
do
content.
sarcasm. Meps is a sarcastic non-guy.
Yeah, I've noticed that. But yeah, I mean, I'm totally down for this new loot system. It sounds great. It sounds great. Looking forward to it.
All right, and let's see what else was on the table. So, some information just on the game side. I'm actually scrolling up more. Oh, we talked too much on this chat. The last day for the seasonal is going to be on the 22nd of March.
Yep.
Okay.
This Sunday.
So if you don't have your Valentine's.
St. Patrick's Day, man.
I'm just happy it came back. I'm sorry, slip of the tongue. Ew. So if you don't have your St. Patrick's Day stuff done, be sure to get it done before March 22nd by this Sunday. Sunday. And then the last day for Area 51 PvE Legends is on the 25th. The 25th. So,
this is Wednesday.
Make sure you get your feats done for that.
Oh, yeah.
Bloodhaven's coming.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Shoot me now.
So let's. I'm not going to be able to play the actual game because I don't have any. I forgot to get some stuff set up, and also I didn't want to break my stream any more than it already is. So, some updates over on the test server. Test server updates. Gotta love it. So, let's go over to the update notes to see what changed. And who is just dropping things?
Who's dropping things? No, my keyboard wasn't on a level surface at that moment. My bad.
That's what that was.
Yeah. It was a wobbly keyboard.
All right. So, some changes done to the rage powers. The following rage combos are now interrupts while using the DPS roll advance mechanic. They are Eviscerate, Outrage's Extra Measure, Frenzy, and Revenge Spent. So these are now going to be interrupts. Yay. I guess that's good. Changes here to munitions with the reload. The input window for reload is easier to hit now. Mini Nuke. Reduce the range of the Mini Nuke light flash effects. I'm going to have to see how that nerf went because I'm not really sure how I'm going to like that. Is it still going to be like that big? Is it still going to be pretty? They adjusted the visual effects of the Eye of the Tiger buff to better match the green color from other munitions effects. And moved the controller roll healing debuff from particle gun to multi-net launcher. And mounted turret will now refresh Eye of the Tiger and bullet frenzy.
1 second. Meps, stop that.
What's Meps?
Stop that. No.
Wow.
Smithy.
No.
Super Patriot hates
throwing
PvP.
you under the bus, man.
Super Patriot is advocating for no loot in DLC 14 and removal of PvP. Oh my god! Super Patriot, respond!
That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie.
But Meps doesn't lie.
No, he just funnels out bullshit to people at times. That's
Nice. All right. The next update happened to test. Let's see. Oh, actually, I forgot to point that out as well. There was a change to the War of the Light Love and War. Star Sapphire Sentinels and Battlezone Metropolis should no longer avoid the area. I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. No one knows.
Nope.
So, with PvE Smallville, which is not coming out until after Bloodhaven, Doomsday attacks have been adjusted. They should do less damage on Dr. Richards. That's true, because we blew through him pretty fast the other week. It was a little too easy. And then lowered the required counts on the scientists from 80 down to 40 on the clones, and And on the clones, they downed it from 30 to 20. So, yeah. Hey, yeah, I like that. Woo, that's good. It's so good. And the mutant crow abilities that were hitting harder than intended had now been fixed on Bloodhaven. So there you go. Alright, so let's see here. Anything here for... Just trying to look for Rage. I mean, it's basically some fixes here and there. A Throne of the Dead fix. Ares will now attack enemies highest on his hate list, then stay close to him instead of attacking whoever is closest. Wow.
That's a good change.
And then the Shade Spirit Specialist will no longer borrow or grant health to raid bosses, is now more likely to heal those with the most need, and now borrows percentage health rather than set amounts, making her less likely to KO her allies while trying to save others. Supes? Good?
Mm-hmm.
Is that good?
Yeah, I mean, if the damn thing was healing up the raid bosses, that's bull crap, man.
Yeah.
Those things don't need any extra help.
The Ares change is gonna be a kind of different.
Well, I think that
But at the same time, I mean, you still want to stay away from him instead of being right up in his face. The tank's job's must be right in front of his face.
Right. Well, I think that Ares change, though, might be coming along hand in hand with some of the things that they've been talking about with Rage. Seeing as how Rage it's been confirmed, Mep's told everybody you're supposed to melee DPS with Rage.
It is a melee power. It is.
So, with that being the case, with Rage and all that, they may be looking at going back and, I don't know, maybe, I mean, some of these other raids, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it or not, adjust some of the AoEs around the bosses and everything. But, we may be seeing a return of melee DPS, maybe, at least with Rage.
Meps comes in. It's specifically about Rage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rage would not be able to survive most things.
Yeah.
And then PC Test was down today, or earlier this evening, and they came out with a hot fix for themselves. Survival mode Fortress of Solitude fixed the issues where controlled Metallo would play his bounty music when he spawned. There's nothing wrong with the little music. Nothing wrong with that at all. And then for powers for munitions, the 5-barrel minigun will no longer deal damage to objects. 50 cal chain grenade launcher, laser net, and flat cannon will no longer set up burning on objects. On objects.
On objects. They're still supposed to set them up on your target. Yes. On enemies.
And then the descriptions for railgun, particle gun, 5-barrel minigun, chain gun, rocket launcher gun, and shrapnel grenade launcher gun and 50 cal gun have been updated to say they inflict counterattacks when bullet frenzy is active. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Booyah.
Oh, look, Meps comes in. If we can do it, we're pretty sure you can do it. As you point out, y'all are way better than us. I didn't say a thing. All right? I am not better than a developer. Throwing it out there now. I might be better than Locke, but I'm not better than any developer. I mean, I had Locke beside me, and he saw me fail, so he knows I suck. But that's basically it for on the test server side. Those are the hot fixes that came in to improve upon it. I haven't gotten a chance to get more hands-on with the test server. I still haven't gotten to play around with munitions yet. It's just been a busy week setting up for weekend activities. A lot of weekend activities. But I still gotta get into survival mode too. I really want to get in there.
I'm waiting for it to hit live. I want to be surprised.
Understandable. Just don't watch my streams then, or my videos. Don't watch me. Just don't even look at me.
Well, you're not going to see past round 2 with you in there anyways, Trex. Seriously.
I have a solid faith in myself that I can get to round 5 before I die. Okay? I have solid faith in myself. I'll get to round 5 before I die.
Me and my league got to round 8 for Trigon's Prison for survival mode.
It's not bad. That's good. Can't wait. I know Brittany's like super excited to get into it. And she really wishes she can get into it right now too.
Yeah. I saw the Kryptonian rewards. Can't wait to sport that.
Yeah, I can't believe someone hates the rewards for the Kryptonian chest.
It's because they said it looks like the T3 stuff.
It is.
It does.
But I mean, like,
It's the tier 3 controller shirt.
And it's the best shirt.
but doesn't it have effects?
Yeah, it changes color, doesn't it?
Got the same, yeah, it's got the same effects, like they added to the basically the Scion of Ion shirt for Owen Sign Cell survival mode, and then they did some graphical changes to that for the survival for the Trigon one.
Okay, so I think Meps is definitely sick because he comes in with chat. When Meps summons back up, 25 avatars of tech appear.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, if you're tier 6 though, 25 avatars of tech isn't that bad.
Well, my Prime Battleground got really intense when I saw those avatar of techs. And then I got left with me being by myself. Luckily, I'm a rage tank, and I don't die.
Yep.
Too much.
Especially with the inflation of stats.
Yeah, it's true. So, all right. So, as I told, Vagrant wants to talk a little about PvP. So, we're now going into the PvP zone. So, that means that I get to just unplug and read an article. And you guys have fun. I'm in chat.
Hey, can I just say real quick? All right, I get that PvP is not really your thing. You're not really into it. But if you was to sit and listen a little bit to some of the PvP discussions going on, you might, it might learn a little bit more about it. It might appeal to you more.
Supes,
especially since players like you, all right, are like the target audience for this game.
Supes, we have been doing this show
and trying and things that things could be brought into PvP that you might like or suggest like things that you might like that could interest you and other players like you to get more involved in PvP.
Supes, we have been doing this show for 2+ years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been magical. It's been great.
Mm-hmm.
I have learned a lot from PvP, from you, from Brittany, none from Pixie. And I value the information that you two have given me, but I still hate it. I still don't care for it, but I do respect it. And I also go in there just to die whenever I need to feel bad by myself because I'm a masochist. I don't know why I'm weird.
Yeah, okay.
But before you guys get into it, I want to thank everyone. Follower goal 19 out of 10, which I'm sure a lot of them are freaking doubles. Super Patriot.
What?
Telling everybody to unfollow and hit the follow button. My numbers are skewed, sir. My numbers are skewed. But also,
you said you wanted to see them, follow you.
Yeah, well, just because I want to see the new thing doesn't mean I want to have my numbers are screwed up. But I did see the graphics. I'm okay. I also didn't get to see any of the messages from people donating. I'm really a little upset that I didn't pay attention closer.
I'm seeing it stream across.
No, when you donate, you can say a message. And I didn't see the message that everyone said. That's why I'm saddened about. But I do better next time. It's still something to look at on my screen. But I do thank everyone for... you doubled the donation. Doubled it. And I think that was done in the first 30 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
So thanks. I guess next week I give away $20 in PSN and $20 in station cash. And then you guys doubled it, so I guess I'll double it. Double it up with the Double Mint Twins. But all right, let's go into some PvP. Vagrant, take it away.
Well, first off, I was going to ask, because I haven't gotten a chance to watch Supes' video, but I know he posted it, some things he wants to see for Season 4 PvP. And I was curious on what you wanted to implement. Was it a lot of the features that you talked about in your one post for the PvP on forums?
Yeah, that video right there, that was more of like a, hey, everybody, look, this discussion is going on. We need more people involved in it type thing. Mm-hmm. That was more of a shout out to get everybody, more people involved in the conversation. Mm-hmm. But like, it was so funny though, man, because I was talking about how bad the counter windows are. You know?
Yes.
I was talking about how horrible the counter windows are, and I got the cheesiest freaking interrupt on this guy that was block breaking me. Like, I swear to God, it looked like it was. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it looked like it was like 5 seconds later I got the interrupt on him. And, you know, I even commented in the video. I was like, there is no way I should have freaking interrupted that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some interrupt windows, like if you're vulnerable to interrupt and you block, you'll see 2 vulnerability icons above them, and then the interrupt will always take priority over block.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. But yeah, that was the general gist of my video and everything. But you had something. You had an idea.
Yeah, it was before we talked about. Because I play multiple MMOs at once, but DC is still my main. I was actually playing with my buddy a couple nights ago, and we just had like pretty much like we had a DC night where we queued for like practically everything in the game. We just went like whatever pops we're running, and you know, we queued for PvP. And like I actually, I'll tell you a story first before I kind of move into my idea. I did a Ace Chemicals match, where it was stupid because the whole other team was Kyle Rayners, and we were just like, there's nothing we could do. We would destroy them most of the time. But since they moved as a group, which is you know how like PvP is kind of supposed to be, they always moved as a group. But we couldn't not really kill them. We would kill maybe 1 or 2, and then they would kill all of us because they would just keep spamming that magnifying glass move and shields and
the old Kyle Rayner cheese.
Yeah, it was kind of dumb. But the idea I had before we actually got on the show was, where is there our open world PvP fix? Open world PvP events like Ring War and Diamond Heist are really, really, really bare bones and basic, and almost no one ever does them, except for heroes in PvE phase because they know they outnumber all the villains. When you go to PvP phase, at least on PC side, it's usually villains that are winning those ones. So what I want them to do, at least at some point in the game, is there should be an instance or like a closed off area like Gotham Wastelands or Metropolis Battle Zone, where you go in and it's a decently sized map and you have like objectives to do, and it's constantly ongoing. That would be freaking awesome. Like, you capture points that, like if, like, let's say it's villains versus heroes, obviously. Villains captured these 2 points, they get buffs in that map, and then heroes are constantly trying to take back. It would be awesome. I would love to see a fix to open world PvP that would make it really, really, really fun to play. More than just, going out into the Gotham and you see a person of the opposite faction and then you might have a fight.
Well, I'm just watching all of Meps's sarcasm blow up in his face now in the chat. No, I like that. That does sound like a really good idea. I mean, I like Ring War and Diamond Heist. I know you say you don't, but I do like Ring War and Diamond Heist. I have very fond memories of
It's because I hate Ring War and Diamond Heist because no one runs them anymore. It's either it's a landslide victory for one faction, or you're just doing it because you're trying to get a feat. It's not fun anymore. It needs improvements, especially with what you get rewarded from it. 1 mark of valor from a win, that's nothing. They didn't even bother to change the currency for it,
Right. Well, see, I was saying this. I have fond memories of Diamond Heist and Reward. I think one of the biggest reasons why you don't see those being run a lot is because you can only run them once a day now. You used to be able to run as many times as you want. As I've got lots of memories of just hanging outside of Diamond District PD or in that parking lot out there, in between arena matches and running Diamond Heist. And just dominating it because it was right next to the PD, but villains. All you villains could have gone to Rain War, but no, you guys kept trying to come over and do Diamond Heist. I don't know what seriously. But I mean, if maybe if there was a little bit more reward to it, I could see people run it more. If it was more than just once a day, I could definitely see people wanting to run it more. But yeah, I do like your idea as far as it's like a never-ending battle. It's like you can go in there and spend 4 hours in there and still really not.
That would be amazing. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's still determine no winner or loser in it, but it's just just an epic battle, just continuing. It would be even better if they could incorporate some, iconic heroes and something like that, especially like you were talking about in the specific zones. Say we're out there in Battleground Metropolis, and there's a fight going on between some of the Red Lanterns and the Yellow Lanterns and the Blue Lanterns and the Green Lanterns, where they're all out there fighting, and we jump in to help our faction's side. And all that, and it's just a back and forth, and you see Hal Jordan come in, you see Kyle Rayner come in, and then maybe you see Saint Walker come in, or maybe some of the missed bounties that are out there.
Yeah,
who wouldn't?
I think
get to fight alongside a Blue Lantern Power Girl or a Blue Lantern Flash. Oh,
I think what would be really cool to see is okay. This would be a great way to introduce. It's technically maybe a new city. It would be a small instance like Central City, let's say Starling City, Green Arrow's place. It would be nice to see some Green Arrow content to an extent. You go into the map. Depending on what faction you are. Let's say for villains, he doesn't really have a distinct villain. Just for name's sake, let's say we're helping Ra's al Ghul. And the League of Assassins. Heroes is obviously helping Green Arrow and his band of hooded heroes and whatever. You go in, and the objective of the map is to try and capture different points. So in Starling City, let's say you have the business building that Oliver owns and stuff like that. There's 3 points, the Queen's building, the nightclubs, and then something else. And you're constantly battling each other's factions to control that. And if you control those, you get certain resources. And then the ultimate goal of the whole map is to, obviously defeat the Iconic. And then if you defeat the Iconic, for a couple hours or so, let's say that faction gets a buff when they're in that map, but then obviously it would reset. So like I said, it's an obvious ongoing battle, and then you could get rewards specific to that event that you're running every day. It would also encourage players to be in that instance for hours on end. If a battle like that was ongoing, you could easily devote a whole afternoon just having fun with the group PvPing with each other.
Right.
I think that would be fun. That would be a great way to, introduce other cities to an extent. I think that would be the best way to do it. Especially if you wanted an ongoing open world PvP battle thing like that.
Yeah, it's not just something that's staged in an area, like where it's like, villains, raiding one of the PDs and beating the shit out of all the level 7s and 8s hanging out in front of Little Bohemia,
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an area that it's okay. I don't want to go there while I'm leveling up.
Yeah.
It's like that's the spot I don't want to go to. It's like, but you go into it. PVE, PvP. PVE phase. You go into that area. Your flag's turned on. If you don't want a PvP, don't go there.
Mm-hmm.
And and there's still some spots in Metro and Gotham where they could do this at.
Well, my biggest problem with Ring War and Diamond Heist is when it happens, you have to physically go there. And, I mean, let's be honest here. How many players do you think once they get that notice is like, oh man, I got to go over there. I got to go get to Diamond Heist. I got to go get to Ring War. By the time you get your group together, or let's say your league, it's already halfway over possibly. You know what I'm saying? Not many people really like Ring War and Diamond Heist anymore anyways. I think they kind of need to take a new step to open world PvP. And I think the idea that I have, and a lot of other MMOs already do it. Like I said when we were talking, Elder Scrolls Online has their open world Cyrodiil map. That is, you are constantly fighting the other two factions for points on the map and for, ultimately a bigger objective. Something like that DC would really, really, really benefit from. Especially, since we're missing some PvP updates. We usually only get one per year. Something like that would definitely just be like, I'd be sitting in the watchtower 3 a.m. I'd be like, man, let me go to Starling City and just see, what the factions are doing right now. Let's see who.
If only we could go to Star City.
But let's say that was implemented and that was like the open world new PvP thing to do. You could be just sitting downtime. You'd be like, let me go to Starling City and just, PvP some people. That would be the ultimate goal of it. Instead of just, constantly queuing for PvP.
Yeah, I remember I was trying to help villains the other day get their exploration feat done. I told them that if they wanted to fight me, I was at Simon Municipal Bridge. None of them showed up. It was sad.
I think another thing that would benefit would be bringing influence back.
To use on what, though? Because right now our options are pretty limited.
Something like I never really agreed with removing the feature. I mean, you even said it yourself. Why remove options? They could have added new things to buy with influence. They could have made it to where influence was for the style vendor specifically, not marks of valor. Things like that. I just liked seeing an extra currency you earn in PvP. It was always fun seeing that skull pop up after you kill someone and then it come to me. It's an extra reward. It always makes the player feel like they're earning things constantly rather than just, when a map ends, you get your marks and you're good to go. Marks of Valor was something you were constantly earning as you were PvPing.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, but it goes back to what do we spend that influence on? I mean, can we, if we stack so much influence, do we get an extra mark? What about the old PvP reward boxes? We open up, we get a PvP reward box with it. Do we get an extra mark in there? Do we maybe get the chance at a weapon or a piece of gear?
Just bring those. Bring those back. There's a lot of different ways they can do it.
Or if you remember the last time we talked about stuff with PvP, bringing some things back and all that. Remember we were talking about PvP specific consumables and plans and stuff. Maybe if we could use the influence to purchase that stuff, and then that way the marks is only set, goes toward gear.
Or have influence allow you to buy mods. Maybe that should be the way we should mods for it.
Influence to help us pay rent on our mainframes.
Oh, that would actually have a lot of people. That would give the people the freaking choice. Use influence to pay for rent or certain things. different options was all I'm saying. And like I
That
said,
was my-
influence was something that, you were always excited to earn during a PvP match.
That was my drop the mic moment right there. Age now. Chex is sitting over there oblivious. We could be talking about him for all he knows.
I'm hearing
Yeah, really.
everything.
Yeah, I do. I like that, dude. Anything to spice up PvP. I love hearing the ideas. I love hearing those ideas. That especially open world, because open world right now it's like I go over to Fight Club just to get extra sodas, and you are. That's pretty much it. I don't really go there to 1v1 people because I show up half the time, and then all the villains are like, "Oh, SP's over there. Let's gank him." I could never get a decent 1v1 going on over there, at least on PvP phase.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, folks, I'm gonna put this out to you again. All right. I get that it's PvP, but if you guys want to have a legit fight club, do it on the PvE phase. I mean, nobody can gank then. Keep your flags off. Send duels, and you guys are good to go. There's no more bitching about, oh, you got healed from the outside. Oh, you got he was throwing block breaks for you.
Yeah.
You guys be skanking. Villains
just-
are always. This is the one that always cracks me up. Is there'll be like a couple of villains who's like, man, why heroes always ganking? They're always ganking. I show up, all three of them jump.
Yeah. It's on both sides, man.
I know. Trust me, I know.
It's just a lot easier to do it on hero side because there's way more heroes.
Oh yeah.
But I just want to be able to log in one day in DC and be like, you know what? I feel like this is going to be a PvP day, and do nothing but PvP.
I miss those days, man. I really do. I mean, it's like I miss being, even on the days when I was like fully geared out. And I'd be just like, dude, I am sitting at Fight Club and I'm fighting everybody today. Everybody. I was like, and then I'm getting my league over here and we're fighting everybody. Then we're going to queue up for arenas and we're going to fight everybody in those. And man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I miss it.
One day. But unless they try and do another last laugh, I don't see anything substantial happening anytime soon. Because I remember when Last Laugh came out, and I was super excited for it because I thought that was going to be when I was going to be able to kind of show this game to my friends and be like, look, man, the PvP is great in it. The PvP is really good in it. Like, we just got a massive update.
Yeah, they did a whole DLC for PvP. If you want to do this stuff, you have to pay for it. And then people played it, and they were like, "I didn't want to pay for this." Unfortunately, I think a lot of the issues that came with Last Laugh was a bit of a disconnect between what the players looked for and want in PvP.
Mm.
At least the majority of the PvP community looks for in PvP, and what the developers were thinking that everybody wanted, or what the developers like themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jens's Spytle's come out on several occasions and talked about he's more of an objective based map player. He loves the objective based maps.
Me too.
And with Last Laugh, we got a lot of objective-based maps. I think all of them were objective-based maps, and which was fine to an extent. But some maps, Safe House, just have way too much stuff added to them that make it so difficult to do those. It makes it very frustrating to do those maps. I'm glad I got defeats done for Safe House. I really am. I feel bad for my league mates that want me to help them, but help them get their feats. But then at the same time, I don't feel bad because I'm not the one in there doing it. Uh, but mess. Please stop talking about last laugh. I mean, I'd say I like the concept behind the safe house maps. I really did. I just think the iconics, all the other ads in there, it was just way too much for what was going on. I mean, you have to rescue hostages. Take the gravitonic emitter. Defuse bombs. Which I was a pro. I got to be a pro at getting in that robot suit and disarming bombs.
I think the main problem that I had with them was they were in too enclosed of a space. Way, way, way too enclosed. It needed to be in a much more open environment.
Now, if they wanted to change safe houses or introduce a new safe house map to where it's like...
Well, they still need to separate headquarters. They've been talking about that for like 2 to 3 years now, and they still haven't separated headquarters between the matches.
I thought they did. I thought that they're separated on the map rotation right now. I mean, the non-map rotation, I should say. You can queue up for either Hall of Doom or Watchtower right now.
Well, not by like that, but when you play Watchtower, the first part of it is a capture and hold. The second part of it is like a kind of like capture the flag to an extent, or like King of the Hill. Separate those two. Don't make us play.
Okay, I got you saying. Yeah. Yeah, that would be epic. Those would be some nice 8v8 maps. Then,
technically, we'd have four more 8v8 maps instead of 2.
If they were to take Safe House though, and kind of make it a team deathmatch with iconics alongside you, and do it in stages like they do the lair battles, that would be pretty epic. So like you're a hero, you're busting into the club with steel, some random iconic. You go in there, and then there's four villains and say freaking Parasite on the other over there, and you guys fight. All right, and whoever wins that, you go to the next stage, which is like off to the the right hand side of the club where the pool tables are at or whatever. And over there, they've got a new iconic, and then you have each side has a new iconic with them, or the same iconic even. That would be pretty epic. Those staged. I love those staged battle scenes in lair battles. And I love the animations in between them and all that. You're booting the guys like, get off my freaking house, get off my second floor, get in the basement, and stuff like that. I love watching those cutscenes.
Or they can make it about defeating the iconic. You could go either way.
Yeah. All right, Meps. We'll see. Thanks for bringing your sarcasm to the stream and getting people
pissed off. Hope you were writing all this down so you can bring it to Spytle.
Yeah.
Spytle's going to see PvP.
Yeah.
Trash.
And then everybody cries.
But more importantly, I mean, it's like the main reason why I think Last Laugh didn't do as well as it did was because the majority of the PvP community, they love team deathmatch, love it, and the objective based maps are fun every once in a while, but the vast majority, I mean, they love the quick fast matches that take place mostly in TDMs.
I mean, a quick remedy to that would just be make it to where certain maps give you more marks. That way they'd be a lot more desirable,
Yeah, I mean, if they made it, okay, they lowered the amount of marks you get in 1v1s and 2v2s right now, right? So keep the same amount of marks that you get in 4s and 5s, but increase the reward for 8s. And I guarantee you'll probably see some 8s matches taking place a lot more often. Because a lot of people like running 8s. I like running them every once in a while.
I like running 8s because I like seeing the amount of players. I like seeing the team synergy. You see it a lot more in bigger maps, especially
Yeah.
if it's objective based.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I always liked about arenas that separated it from Legends is the fact that, with the roles involved in arenas and everything, it required teamwork. Not just for you to stay alive, but for you to beat the other team if they had, a similar setup to you, or they had appropriate, role synergy going on. So it required teamwork. It required coordination. It required people, not just knowing the mechanics, but knowing their role, knowing how to work together. That's what I loved about arenas. But I mean, right now, it's more like Legends. Then it is about more than it is arenas. At least the arenas that I grew up in, so to speak. So I don't know, but I definitely like your open world idea. I don't know if I like the idea of queuing into it or walking into it or anything like that.
Oh,
I
it
think
would
it
be
should
walking
like,
into it, so that way
I think
it feels like it's constantly ongoing.
I think it should be an area that people inadvertently go into. I mean, it should be there should be a warning sign, like a warning. You're coming up on it, you're like 2 streets away from it. It says warning. You're entering a PvP war zone.
Yeah, that's what they could call it, a war zone.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Or for the Starling City, it could be Green Arrow versus Deathstroke, much like the show.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Perfect. Do it.
We're writing content for you guys. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're doing half the work. We're doing Jens's job. Is basically what we're doing. So, I don't know if we got time. Trex.
What do you want to do?
Oh my god! Well, I wanted to talk about the root of the issues going on with like the kick options and people asking for exceptionally high CRs and stuff.
Now we're at an hour 30, so we need to cut it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I will.
Excuse me. So, you done with your PvP now? That was good, though.
Yeah, what did we talk about?
PvP. Outdoor PvP.
Yeah. This guy.
I was here for the gist.
What was do you remember my idea for a PvP map?
Oh, inside cells?
No, man. See, completely missed out on that awesome safe house idea I had. Anyways. Do your thing, sir.
Yay. Oh, shameless plug. Exploit. Do not fail me. Alright. You can find us over on the social media. You can go on Facebook and also on the Twitter. Just type in DCUO SourceCast or just type in SourceCast and you'll find us. It's that simple. You can also email us. If you guys have any questions or something that you guys want us to talk about, email us over at DCUOSourcecast@gmail.com. And you can find all of the audio podcast over on iTunes or over at Trexlight.com. And you can also find the VODs in case you missed this episode or missed some of it over at YouTube.com/Trexlight. Super Patriot, where can we find you?
You can, of course, find me on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter and Twitch. Just look for the Daddy's House on all 4 of those there, and you will find me at those places. Vagrant, where can we find you?
You can find me at all my convoluted and confusing places like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can find me on Facebook /Vagrant Game, YouTube /The Alpha Tester, Twitter /Vagrant_Gaming, and Twitch /Vagrant Gaming. Trex, where can we find you?
You can find me over at Facebook.com/Trexlight and on YouTube at YouTube.com/Trexlight, and also hit the follow button over at my Twitch at Twitch.tv/Trexlight, and find me especially on the Twitter at This Is Trex. Love the Twitter. Can't get enough of the Twitter.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Super Patriot.
Drag Trex onto Twitter, kicking and screaming, "I hate Twitter! Twitter's stupid!"
I didn't sound like that. I did.
Yeah, you did. It's stupid. It's pointless. I don't get that.
And you know who my first follower was?
2 weeks later, dude's freaking like going ape shit on it.
I followed Jon Favreau when he was making Iron Man 2. He was giving all like the insights. I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. Jazz hands. So, thank you guys so much for watching tonight's episode. Be sure to stick around. The stream's still going to go on. I just have to cut and have a little pause moment so I can cut the podcast off from recording so we can start doing the giveaway for some station cash and a PSN gift card. And we were at like 70 views. Now we're down to 56. So those 20 people, you have failed, sir. You are 14. 14 people, you have failed. You're missing out on a giveaway of free stuff. So haha. So thank you guys so much for watching. I don't have a MySpace link. Stop it. Thank you guys so much for listening in. And we will see you guys next week for some more DCO SourceCast goodness. Next week, there is no FNL. That's already been established according to their schedule. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.